on this podcast.
NFC East. Who you got winning?
NFC East. Shock. Surprise. So this is one where everybody's just penciling the Eagles back in to win, to go to the Super Bowl again, to be in the NFC Championship again. The Eagles did it last year. Why would they not do it this year? Leaving out that nobody was really predicting the Eagles to do it a year ago. Like, if you'd said the Eagles were going to be in the Super Bowl last year, it would have been a rogue pick. It wasn't necessarily the chalk selection. So I think Dallas is going to win this division. I think they're going to jump Philadelphia. I'm
tempted. I was tempted to do this. I don't think that's crazy. I think the difference between the Eagles and the Cowboys is not great. Again, I lament how much we run into the team won, therefore they're up here, and the team behind them is way down here.
Yeah.
Right? We do the opposite with the MVP race, by the way, which also grinds my gears here, Sam. We think the MVP race is this like horse race every single week, right? It's like this guy's 1, this guy's 2, this guy's 3. And as soon as 2 has a better day than 1, he's got to leapfrog him, right? We got to do that. With the MVP race, you do that. It's like Josh Allen made a great throw, boom, MVP. Patrick Mahomes made a great, he's MVP, and it just goes back and forth. But with teams, we say, well, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, so they're in a different echelon. And the Eagles were the best team in the NFC, so they're in a different echelon from everyone else. But the reality is they're closer. They're a lot closer. The Chiefs were a handful of plays away from not making the Super Bowl, right? The Eagles and the Cowboys in the NFC East are tight. And I would say I'd say the Cowboys improved more than the Eagles this offseason. I think the Cowboys bridged the gap because for the 900th time, I will reference Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore, two of the biggest weaknesses on last year's Cowboys team. Have you convinced me? Because I have the Eagles written down here. I still think they're the better team. But after ranting and raving here, maybe I'll take the Cowboys. Copy you. I don't want to have the same picks as you.
Yeah.
But I was tempted. I'll have the Cowboys as a wild card team, but I think Dallas is right up there with the Eagles.
Yeah, I think both teams had good off seasons, but Philadelphia's off season was about maintenance and damage limitation rather than actively getting better, because they had a lot of players that were either leaving or scheduled to leave, and they had to kind of piece the thing back together and just tie it, make sure that the whole Super Bowl roster didn't disintegrate around them. Now, obviously, they're still bringing back like a really important core. They're still bringing back most of the best offensive line in the NFL. Right guard Isaac Seumalo goes away. Cam Jurgens comes in. They're bringing back their 2 receivers, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts. Like, the core of this team is still intact. But they were losing a lot on defense as well. And even though they've got ready-made replacements like Nakobe Dean to step in and, take those spots, that's always a gamble. Like, as much as I think Nakobe Dean is a great player, he needs to play as well as TJ Edwards. Otherwise, it's a downgrade relative to last year's team. And that's not a given. Same as, Jalen Carter coming in. Absolute steal potentially in terms of the draft. But Jalen Carter needs to replace Javon Hargrave. Like, that's not easy. So it's a risk. Whereas Dallas maintained most of that team and brought in 2 clear upgrades over significant areas of weakness and are likely to be better in terms of, Michael Gallup being a year removed from an injury that really hampered him last year. So in multiple ways, they should be significantly better simply by having the same people from a year ago and adding key parts to that team. So I think they were close anyway. And I think Dallas bridged the gap.
The other big story in Dallas, so I'm with you on all that. I'll take the Eagles.
Okay.
I'll officially take the Eagles.
Officially.
Feel better about the Cowboys maybe now than I did last year.
Yeah.
Probably picked the Cowboys last year at this time, but the Eagles at some point, pretty early surpassed them, right? The Mike McCarthy calling plays thing versus Kellen Moore. It's going to be interesting because there's not a lot of offensive coordinators that fan bases like. It's kind of like offensive lines. Like Cowboys fans are like, no, Kellen Moore's not that good. But he's better than Jason Garrett, and he did get a lot of good years out of Dak Prescott. And Chargers fans are excited for Kellen Moore. Cowboys fans are like, we didn't love Kellen Moore, but they're also not that excited about Mike McCarthy either. So there's a chance that could be a downtick there. Mike McCarthy calling plays with Shoddy, Brian Schottenheimer, as OC in name.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll take the Cowboys will be one of my wild card teams. I'll take the Eagles to win the division.